On the bench today is a Sterling by Man Stingray Plus with P90s. When I first saw someone playing the Stingray Plus and in Seafoam Green, the only term I can think of to describe my desire for the guitar is I was seriously jonesing for one. It's not one thing, but the amalgamation of all the things that make up the guitar that made me want it. Seafoam Green finished, unusually shaped offset body, and matching smaller headstock. Roasted maple neck with large perloid block fret markers, P90 pickups, simplified controls. For some reason it looks smaller and more compact than a standard guitar. Those are all the things I kind of liked about it. It's to me one of the coolest looking guitars I've seen come out in a while. I know a lot of folks will listen to this and wonder what has come over me. The initial Sterling by Man Stingray guitars were designed to emulate and carry forward the design of the original 1970s Man Stingray 6-string guitar. These guitars were often marketed simply as the Stingray guitar, with specific model designations like SR-30 and SR-50 becoming more prominent over time as the line evolved over years. The Stingray SR-50 was introduced around 2022, and the Stingray SR-50X, this guitar, was released at the NAMM show in 2025. Here's some of the specifications for the Stingray Plus, otherwise called the SR-50X as its model number. The guitar is manufactured in Indonesia. The body is made of poplar. It comes in two colors, black and seafoam green. There's a 2-point tremolo. The scale length is 25.5 inches or 64.8 centimeters. Neck radius is 12 inches or 30.5 centimeters. There are 22 frets. The neck width at the nut is 1.65 inches or 42 millimeters. Has a roasted maple neck. The fret markers are white perloid block inlays. The tuners are locking. The truss rod is a dual action truss rod with adjustment at the base of the neck. The neck attachment is a 5-bolt pattern. The controls are 1 push-push, volume boost, and 1 tone control. There's also a 3-way toggle pickup selector switch, and as I said, the pickups are single coil P90s. New, the guitar goes for $599, and used, the guitar is sold for around $500. I've seen a few go for less, but I haven't seen a lot of them on the market since it's so new. There are only 2 used guitars for this specific model listed on Reverb at the moment, and so there's not really enough data to provide a proper historical low and high price. So I have to say, the script for this video has been amazingly difficult to write. I really try to find the good in every guitar that I buy. I honestly report my observations, meaning if I find things wrong, I'll say so in the video. I think I've been really lucky so far in the fact that I've only maybe had 1 or 2 guitars on the bench out of about 700 or 800 videos for the channel where 1, I ended up just not liking the guitar, or 2, the guitar had so many imperfections from the factory that I really could not find much positive to say. I'm also smart enough to know that sometimes you just get a lemon from the factory and it's not indicative of the specific model of guitar. A one-off that is an anomaly amongst hundreds or maybe thousands of units. So let me explain to you what happened to me. So I finally got my guitar shipped to me. I opened the box and I put the guitar on my bench and excitedly started shooting the video for the On the Bench video. This is when I started to become a little angry and disillusioned. I ordered my guitar from an amazing, reputable seller. They supposedly really check out the guitars before they ship them to you. I've bought a lot of guitars from them. I really like them. I mean, you get a report card showing all of the things that they looked at. What could go wrong? First, I could not set the string height if my life depended upon it. I mean, the string height was really high, and no matter what I could do, I couldn't lower the string height at all. It had nothing to do with the neck relief. The neck was flat and the truss rod was adjusted properly. It had nothing to do with the height of the string saddles. I bottomed them out and the strings were still way too ridiculously high to play. The cause for the problem was not obvious at first. I decided to take things apart and really look at the components. This is when the cause of the problem became obvious. It was not something that I had ever seen before on a guitar. The tremolo for the guitar is a 2-post mounted tremolo. The 2 posts are screwed into threaded brass bushings that are then inserted into the guitar's body. What I observed was that somehow on my guitar, the two bushings seemed to have been pulled out of the body and they were sitting about a third of the length of the bushings exposed. The front of the tremolo was actually sitting almost a quarter of an inch too high. I'd never have been able to set the string height properly. I tapped both bushings back into the guitar, and then I reassembled the guitar. When I assembled the guitar, the string height issue was gone. Within an hour, though, the bushings had pulled back out of the body. I'm guessing that the tension of the springs and strings were literally pulling them out. I also live in a very dry climate, so I'm thinking the wood had shrunk, and it's similar to kind of like getting fret sprout. And so that's why this was happening, but I've never had this happen with a guitar before, though. The next issue I found was that the low A and low D tuners had a lot of play in them, and I could not get the two strings to stay tuned for anything. The other four strings were basically fine. So I'd try and I'd tune the guitar. It's like a bad transmission in a car. There just was slippage is the only way that I can describe the problem with the two tuners. They just would not stay in tune at all. I pulled out the report card that came with the guitar and I looked at it. Seriously, how the hell could this guitar get off of the bench after being so extensively checked out? I was really pissed and disappointed. I decided to put the guitar back together and I was going to ship it back to the seller. As I was putting the strings back on the tremolo, my tool slipped and the spring popped out of my grip. It's the tremolo spring. My hand with the tool then as a result dragged across the back of the guitar and scratched the hell out of it. A lot of colorful expletives came out of my mouth at that point. The primary word that I kept saying over and over again started with the letter F and ended with the letter K. I could tell the seller that it came to me that way. I mean, to be honest with you, with the other problems. But you know what? That would be dishonest. I really didn't know what to do at this time. I was really kind of disgusted with myself and the guitar. I put it in a gig bag and I put it in a storage closet until I could figure out what I was going to do with it. I was not going to send it back at this point. So a month went by, and every single time that I thought about the guitar and my entire experience, I was kind of sad and pissed at the same time. I finally got over myself and mapped out a plan. I was going to fix the bridge post issue and also replace the tuners, and then see if I could basically get the guitar set up and functioning properly. Fixing the bushings was easy enough. I put a small bead of industrial super glue on both bushings and then tapped them back into place to dry and set. For the tuners, I found a set of new Goto SG381-05P1 and its left 4 tuners and R2 for right 2 tuners. They're a set of mini locking tuners. I found them on Reverb and they cost me almost $100. The really cool thing though was that they came with mother of pearl like plastic turn wheels, which I think would actually go really well with a green headstock. The Goto tuners are a drop-in replacement for the tuners that came with the guitar. It was really easy enough to just pull the original tuners off and then swap them out, basically replace them with the new tuners. Once I had reinstalled the tremolo and installed a new set of strings, the string height and tuning issues basically were gone. It was easy to set up the tremolo so it was floating and also to adjust intonation. Now the guitar stays in tune on all of the strings, and after a few days of just monitoring the guitar with the strings and springs installed, the bushings are no longer slipping out of the guitar. The guitar handles and plays beautifully. Now, the only thing that I'm surprised by when I pick up the guitar is the weight. It's a very compact but heavy little guitar. The guitar weighs in at 8 pounds and 5 ounces, or 3.78 kilos. For some reason, the guitar just looks like it'd be a much lighter guitar, somewhere in the 6.5 to 7 pound range. I really like the look of the white tuner knobs with the guitar. It kind of looks like it's supposed to be this way from the factory. I like the function of the volume boost. It's a push-push thing, and it's just really easy to accidentally engage it. So the only issue I see is it pops up really easy, and I find that it's up a lot of times when I'm not paying attention, and I'm concerned, to be honest with you, that I might eventually break it off. The pickups are pretty good. The neck is warm and has just the right amount of highs. The bridge pickup is kind of the snarling dog that it's supposed to be, and when you mix the two pickups together, they're not noisy like you would expect P90s to be. The SR-50X comes from a long lineage of Stingray guitars. I really like Music Man guitars, and I've actually played and owned a few of the Sterling guitars like the Cutlass and so on. And I've never had a single issue with any of them. I've actually had a really good out of the box from the factory experience. I'm really hopeful that with my guitar it was just a fluke. So now though, I do have the really cool looking little guitar that I wanted and that I originally saw, and it works the way that it's supposed to, and I really do enjoy playing it.